All right, welcome back. In this episode, we are diving into healing generational trauma, how you can break the cycle of trauma in your bloodline through your own subconscious healing. And so by the end of this episode, you will have the tools to begin your subconscious healing journey, which is a deeper aspect of healing. By healing your subconscious, you are healing the deeper parts of you that cause the trauma cycle to continue. So, by the end of this episode, you are going to have the tools to start your subconscious healing journey today. My name is Gianna Badeau. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, somatic coach, meditation teacher, and spiritual guide. And if you do feel that you need deeper support doing this work, this subconscious healing work, if you've been through any level of trauma, then I highly recommend that you reach out to chat with me one on one to talk about how hypnotherapy and subconscious work can help you in a one on one setting. And also grab access to the Rewired meditations. There's over 50 meditations and self hypnosis audios to help you regulate your nervous system and rewire your subconscious at the deepest level on various topics. So, no matter what you're going through or what you want to rewire and regulate, there is a topic for you to dive into. So, you can check all of that out and all the free resources linked for you in the notes below. All right, let's talk about healing. Let's talk about generational healing. Let's talk about subconscious healing. Now, healing is a big buzzword right now. And often what's left out of the healing journey is the subconscious. Now, the reason why your subconscious is so important in this equation is because your subconscious holds all of your inner wounding, especially your inner child wounding, holds all of your trauma, all of your memories, even the things you don't remember that happened. Everything that you've gone through is stored in your subconscious, all of your belief systems, all of your programming that you received as a child growing up. It is rooted deeply in your unconscious programming, which means all day, every day, you are operating unconsciously from this programming. This is not programming that you are consciously choosing to act from. It is programming that you are unconsciously acting from without you even realizing it. So, this is why the subconscious and having subconscious awareness is so important. Because if you do not know what is in your subconscious, if you do not have awareness around the belief systems and memories and traumas that have shaped you and caused you to show up in your life the way you are today, then it makes it very difficult for you to actually shift, change, and heal from them. So, if you're on a healing journey, and you're doing self care and you're doing talk therapy and you're doing all the work, that is absolutely incredible. And you should continue that. But on a deeper level, all of your efforts that you're currently doing are not going to fully work for you if you're not actually shifting and changing and rewiring your subconscious at the same time. Doing this deep subconscious work is the work. It is the most important work on your healing journey. So let's quickly talk about generational trauma. Generational trauma, generational cycles, they are the trauma cycles, they are the habits, they are the patterns that are passed down through your bloodline per the parenting that you received, per the programming that you received from the adult figures, from the family members that you were most around as you were growing up. So, when you are a child, your subconscious mind is like a sponge. It is highly, highly, highly suggestible, which means whatever you are shown, whatever you are told, your subconscious soaks it up like a sponge and it becomes your programming. It becomes the lens by which you see and show up in your world, unless you choose to change it, which is what this whole episode is about, rewiring and reprogramming and choosing the programming, intentionally choosing the programming that you want to run your reality for you. Because if you do not intentionally choose the programming that you want to run your reality for you, then you are unconsciously creating your life based on the programming that you received from your parents, which all of the programming that you received may not be bad or negative. But if you have these negative patterns, if you have these unconscious behaviors or cycles or patterns, for example, in relationships or with money or with your own children now today in your own parenting that you're not proud of, that you don't like, that don't make you feel good, those actions and patterns that you tend to regret, that you tend to beat yourself up for, that you tend to overanalyze, then there is likely programming that you need to revisit, that you need to rewire. And so by doing this, generational trauma, generational cycles, these are the cycles that were passed down from your grandparents to your parents to you. And if you don't break them, they get passed down to your children. So, generational trauma is again just simply trauma and cycles that are carried down from generation to generation to generation until someone breaks the cycle. So, by listening to this episode, you're already becoming more equipped with the tools to be a cycle breaker in your bloodline because you're gaining awareness around this topic. And a lot of times, simply by gaining awareness, we're already making some shifts, making some changes. We are awakening to parts of ourselves that we may not have been connected to or aware of. And this episode is going to wake you up to those parts of you and get you started on your journey of generational healing. So, why is it so important? Well, first and foremost, you want to feel better. You want to take actions that you feel proud of every day. You don't want to have the guilt. You don't want to beat yourself up over things that you feel you struggle to change. Also, another reason why, a very big reason why it is so important is because whatever you're carrying that was given to you that you haven't healed from yet, you are going to give to your own children, even though you don't want to, even though you don't realize it every day. The patterns and programming that you were given, you are also already giving to your children unless you have awareness, unless you take the time and effort and intention to shift, change, and rewire it. So, there is a beautiful statistic that says when you heal yourself, this is big, when you heal yourself, you heal the next 7 generations in your bloodline, which means your healing, your subconscious healing, the work that you do on yourself and on your subconscious programming is the most important work that you will ever do in your life. Because if you don't do it, you are just continuing the cycle. You are part of the cycle. You are on the same trajectory that your parents were. And so you are continuing this cycle. And if you want to break the cycle, if you want to feel better for yourself, if you want your children to have a different reality, a different mindset, a different level of programming and inner awareness than you had growing up, then it starts with you. And it does not matter how old your children are. The healing you do today affects them and will support them and will guide them and will transform them. So if you feel like you've already done some quote unquote damage, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't even think about it. Just start your healing journey. Your children are going to heavily respect you and feel proud of you for the changes and shifts that you are making. So don't beat yourself up over the past. Let's just start today. Let's just begin today. And if you haven't had any children yet, then doing this work now is so, so important because you can pave the way ahead of time for the type of parent you're going to be. So, to heal yourself at the subconscious level, it requires you to come face to face with the parts of yourself and the parts of your childhood that may have been traumatic, that may have created some inner child wounding, some PTSD, some deep rooted blocks that you need to break free from, that you need to heal yourself from. And by coming face to face with these parts of you, you're able to see more clearly the parts of you that need your focus and attention the most, the parts of you that have always needed your focus and attention your whole life. And you can give that healing, you can give that focus, that attention to this part of you today. And so healing your subconscious means healing the traumatic memories, the memories that have shaped you and molded you into who you are today, the programming that has shaped and molded you into who you are today. And so to do this, we have to become aware of what that programming is. You may have some level of awareness, but if you've never journeyed into your subconscious, if you've never closed your eyes and literally gone into the subconscious, and you probably don't really know what that programming is, even if you have some level of awareness around it. Some level of awareness is great, but we want full clarity. We need full clarity on what it is. Because if you don't have full clarity on that programming, then you really don't have the tools and the information to actually shift and change it. You don't know what you're shifting and changing. You don't know what you're healing. So we need clarity on what parts of ourselves need healing. And we all have these wounded parts of ourselves. They're not bad parts of you, even if they have these bad habits or negative patterns, or they cause you to do things that you're not proud of. They're not bad parts. They're just parts of you that need healing, that need compassion applied to them. So it's not that you need to be so hard on yourself. It's actually, you need to be softer. You need to be calmer. You need to feel more compassionate towards that version of you that went through whatever you went through, that version of you that heard and saw whatever it is that you heard and saw as a kid. We need compassion. We need love. We need nurturing applied to those wounded parts of you. And so the first step on this journey is again gaining that clarity. And so to gain that clarity, a lot of this really is inner child healing. It's coming home to and in contact with this wounded inner child within us and applying love to that wounded inner child. Because right now, the reason why you're acting out and lashing out is because you have this wounded inner child within you who is seeking your attention, who really needs and wants healing. And by seeking that attention from you, there are those negative patterns, there are those negative reactions, and it's all of the things that you're currently doing that you're not proud of in your life as a parent, as a wife, as a husband, as a business owner, whatever role that you're in that you need to heal and change. So, this topic of generational healing is really important. And to start the journey, it starts with, again, gaining that subconscious awareness around the programming and parts of you that need healing. What programming did you receive from your parents and the adult figures growing up that is not serving you today? What memories were traumatic that have shaped you into who you are today and need healing? When we become clear and aware around the programming and parts of us that need healing, then the healing can actually begin. Because if you're not aware of that programming and the parts of you that need the healing, then what kind of healing are you actually doing? You're really just doing self care, which again, amazing. Continue doing the self care, but there's deeper work that needs to be done. And the most powerful path of generational healing that I've ever experienced in my life, and I've had to do a lot of it, just I've had a lot of inner child trauma that personally needed healing for me. And hypnotherapy, out of all the forms of therapy, all the forms of coaching, of healing work that I did, hypnotherapy was the most effective form of healing for me. And I attribute the work I've done in hypnotherapy, in somatic healing, in breath work, in yoga, and all of these things that I've done to the way that I have now shown up as a mother today to my little girl and the baby that's in my belly right now. It's all because of the healing work that I've done on my subconscious. I would not be able to be a conscious healed parent without the healing work that I did on my subconscious. I would be repeating a lot of the patterns that caused me pain and trauma if I did not do this work. So I can proudly say that I am a cycle breaker. I am breaking cycles as a parent today because of the healing work that I've done through hypnotherapy. And the reason why hypnotherapy is the most effective form of healing is because through hypnotherapy, it's a bridge into the subconscious. And there really is no other form of therapy that supports you in actually accessing your subconscious like hypnotherapy. I've done literally every form of therapy. I've been in healing and with different types of therapists, forms of therapy since I was a teenager. I never really was able to respond to it. I had results and I started to feel better and I was waking up to things and talking about things. But hypnotherapy actually helped me heal at a very deep level, the subconscious level, the level I didn't even know existed at the time. I didn't even know what a subconscious was in my teens. I didn't know what my subconscious was in my early 20s. It wasn't until my late 20s where I learned about subconscious work and a light bulb went on. And I was like, wow, this is the work. This is the work I've been missing. And it was like I've been doing all these things, the yoga, the meditation, the healing work. I've read every book about healing and self growth and self development. I've done many different forms of coaching and talk therapy and cognitive therapy. You name it, I've done it. I promise you that. If you ask me about a form of therapy, I can likely say that I've tried it. It was not until I did hypnotherapy where I actually felt like I found the number one tool that I needed my entire life, which was to rewire the programming and the traumas at the subconscious level of my mind. And so, if you have more questions about hypnotherapy, there's a lot of taboo, inaccurate things out there about what hypnotherapy is simply because of television, TV, movies, and magic shows. And that's all really just fake. What it actually is a journey through yourself, an eyes closed form of therapy where you are not asleep. You are the most aware and awake you've ever been. You're waking up to the parts of yourself that need healing, that need attention. And with your eyes closed, you're actually able to see that more clearly at the subconscious level. We all have fears and traumas that unconsciously affect us every day. And so to be given the opportunity to see what those are, it gives you the opportunity to actually shift and change them. And when you shift and change the traumas and experiences and the fears that are driving your behavior today, you shift and change the whole trajectory of your life and of the generations that will come after you. Because when you heal your children. And when your children are healed, they can be healed parents, and so on. You break cycles of trauma in your bloodline. And again, it is the most beautiful work that you will ever do in your entire life. Now, there are many ways to go about this. You can start healing. You can start becoming more aware of the patterns you're not proud of. Any form of healing that you're doing, as I've mentioned, is incredible, and please continue it. I am saying here that what has been most effective for myself and the hundreds of clients that I've worked with is hypnotherapy because of the simple fact that you are actually able to access the subconscious programming that is fueling all of the behaviors and the patterns that you're trying to change. So, if you do want to learn more about hypnotherapy, definitely check out my website. There's a whole page on my website about hypnotherapy that really breaks it down. And if you do have more questions, just feel free to reach out to me. I always love answering questions. You can put questions in the comments, or you can reach out to me personally via email or on my Instagram at Gianna Badeau. And feel free to ask me anything that comes up. I know there's a lot of questions about this work if you've never done it before, especially about the subconscious, because this topic is very elusive. It's not really talked about as much, but it should be. That's why I do this work. It is so powerful. It is so important. And to start your healing journey, it's really about starting the subconscious healing journey. So, true healing is subconscious healing. And the moment that you wake up to that and you realize it, you can start to break those cycles. You can start to break free from the generational cycles that you've been a victim of. And it's not because your parents, your grandparents had ill will, it's just that they just took what they learned and passed it on. They didn't have the tools that you have. And so you can feel grateful that now, today, you do have these tools. You do have this awareness of what generational healing is, of what the subconscious mind is, of what hypnotherapy is, and how you can use it to actually break free from the cycles that are holding you back and keeping you stuck today. So, if you do feel called to go deeper into this work and break the cycles of trauma in your bloodline, check out the resources that have been linked for you in the notes below. And just know that whatever path of healing you're on, you're doing amazing work. You're taking action for yourself. And when you're ready, you will choose to go deeper. You will choose to go into the subconscious when you are ready. Just know this path is waiting for you when you are ready for it. And that your true healing is subconscious healing. And that your true healing is subconscious healing. And when you do heal your subconscious, you heal yourself at the deepest level. You break generational cycles of trauma that have been in place for years. years and years, maybe even decades. Check out the resources that have been linked for you in the notes below. And if you loved this episode, if you found it insightful, make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode along this incredible journey. You're doing amazing. Keep going. If you have questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time.